Hey everyone, Jim's DIY Garage. Big Jim, how are you on? We put this car up for sale before it was all taken apart. Timing chain was starting to rattle. Compression test, it passed. Had 185 to 197 across all four. Did a leak down test, leaking between cylinder 1 and 2. Put it up for sale as is. People are, if you bring me the car from 90 miles away, if you bring me the car so I know it's a good daily reliable driver, I'll buy it. It has a timing chain rattle. It failed the leak down test. Why would we drive the car 50, 60, 70 miles, bring it to you, knowing it had a rattling timing chain? If it fails, now we lose a motor. So, but people were, we weren't selling it as a daily reliable driver. We were selling it as a good car, but it needs a head gasket and a timing chain. And we did leak down compression tests. We knew everything was good. It just needed, well, we're done. She's fixing it, then she's going to resell it, and then they're going to just pay even more. We had the head off. The head was pressure tested, did have a slight warp. So we had it milled. So now it's a milled head, all cleaned up, leak down tested. And it's beautiful looking. I mean, he did a really good job on cleaning it up. You wouldn't really say it was a cleaned up head, and he did mill it. So it's all nice and flat. We got all new timing components. Wherever they are, all over here. We got the new head bolts, new spark plugs. Everything's going to be done right. I'm getting ready to set the head now. They recommend, even on the Chevy sites, you spray the head gasket with the copper spray, both sides, and then put it down. You're going to torque the cylinder head bolts from the center working out and across from each other. You're going to torque them to 15 foot-pounds. Back them off one turn. Torque them to 26 foot-pounds. And then you start all over in the center working out. You do 90 degrees. Get them all at that. Then you start in the center again and do another 90 degrees, and you're done with the head. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. I just gotta spray my head gasket down, lay it. I got that all cleaned up, wiped it down. You want a nice clean oil thing. Ran a tap in the bolt holes. That's all good. And like I said, we're gonna put new bolts in there. Which box is it? Right there. There's our new head bolts. Sorry. But just to show, all new head bolts, unopened package. Yes, it's getting all new head bolts. She's not screwing around. These are torque to yield. Because like I said, your final torque is 26, and then you do 90 degrees and 90 degrees. These are one-time use bolts. So I'm not going to do step by step. It's the same car we had in the video. But she's doing the work. So there it is, Chevy Cruze. And now we're just going to turn around, do the timing chain, head gasket, and put it back up for sale. So that's where we're at. I'll do random shots as we progress through this. But this isn't going to be a step-by-step how-to video. Just more showing the work's done. And so you know when you get it, that's going to be a good, daily driven, reliable vehicle. Because Chevy has a couple issues. They're notorious head gasket failures. They're notorious turbo failures. Notorious timing chain failures. This has a new turbo on it, just done last year. Head gasket's being done now, and we did do it the right way. We had the head milled. It is perfectly flat. And we're doing the timing chain. Our timing chain's around here somewhere. Still in the box. Must be over there. So it's gonna all get done the right way, but enough rambling. I want to get this head set, and then I'm gonna get the intake on it. Then I'm going to do the timing. I'm going to do the turbo setup last because that's kind of a bear to do anyway. So that'll be the last thing I'm going to do. But right now I'm just going to get all this done and go from there. So we'll see you in a while. One quick tidbit. Again, not going to be a how-to. People are always, oh, watch how you put your head gasket on. This is very important. The Chevy Cruze 1.4. The head gasket only goes on one way. One. You can't flip it over. You got the long side and the short side. If you flip it over, you don't have two holes on this side like you do that side. If you flip it over, you don't have this is a dowel that sticks up. Your head rests on that and that. If you flip this over, there is no hole right there for... It cannot go on backwards. One way, that's it. No discussion, no argument. It can only go on one way. If I start taking a drill bit and drilling holes in it and all that, yes, I can get it to go on another way. Who's going to do that? Really? So, one way. All right, on the 1.4, you pretty much have to put your gasket in first. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to put some silicone where the head and the block meet on both sides and down at your oil pan. If you're dropping your oil pan, you can skip the step of putting a bead down here. So, but you want to put a bead right there, and then down right there where the oil pan and the block meet. Like I said, if you're dropping the oil pan, you can skip that step, but then when you put the oil pan back on, you'll put a bead, your front cover will be here, then you'll put a bead at where the different components meet. Some people go and assemble their head, put it on. You can do that. You can go either way. If you time your cams, see, I already got my block in. So we're at top dead center. My pin's in. So now you can turn around and put your head together, time your cams, and set the head. Or what I do, I still got to put the lifters in. I'll put the lifters in, put the rollers in, and then I'll set my cams in the correct timing position. On the 1.4, now's a good time to put this RTV in them 4 spots and put your gasket on, because you cannot do the gasket after the timing's on. It has to go on. Now, if you're not doing the cylinder head, or if you're removing the cylinder head and you're not messing with the timing, this comes perforated. So you can cut this and just use the top portion of this and then put Permatex here like you would the same joint. You're going to put it here, but you can snap this off. It's perforated. That way, if you're only pulling the cylinder head because you had a bad head gasket, but your timing's fine, you can turn around, lock your timing, get it timed, lock it, and then you can take your sensors out and pop your bolts, and that will leave the gears in, and you can remove the cylinder head. This had a bad head gasket and bad time. We're doing the whole thing. You can remove the head on these without undoing the timing. But if you're this far into it, you know, the timing, you're not that much more. So that's a judgment call. This one, the timing chain was making noise. So we're going to put it on like this. Again, this can only go on one way. You can see, total different. But, so we'll get this put on. And then we're going to start putting our timing on. I'll get the chain and, well, I got to set the cams. And then I'll hang the chain. And then there's our crank gear. I'll get that on. And, you know, now we're just heads all ready. Like I said, you take it to 15 foot-pounds, all of them, back them off, torque to 26 foot-pounds. then a 90 degree, all of them, and then another 90 degree. Our head is all torqued, ready to go. I just got to put our lifters in and then put the rockers, and that's all laid out identical to how it came out over there. So that's what I'm doing, putting on now. Like I said, not going to really be a how-to, just a couple things that I think people should know we're going to point out. It's just more for documentation that this has been done, because this is a car that's up for sale, and then this way the new owner can feel confident. Oh, how do I know it was done and you're not just saying it? Here's the video, there's the car. So, and I already did one video on this car. You can confirm it's the same car. So, all right, that's where we're at. I'm going to continue on. All right, we got the lifters in, got the rockers in. Now what you do to set your cams and to make sure they're at time, you got this slot right here. Let me see if I can set this down somewhere and show. You got this slot in the cam. That would not be in time. You want the circle, the big end of the slot on the bottom, and just that little bit piece at top. You're going to do that for both cams. Now, once you go and get ready to, before tighten them down and all that, you got to turn around. This is for locking your cams. When the cams are in, this is going to go in here and it'll lock the cams. So you'll have your lock down there for the crank. This is for the cams. Now, I know there's more pieces in that kit. That piece and that piece we are going to use when we set, because these spin. We got to get these in sync. Otherwise, it's still going to, on our cam sensors, we're going to get error codes. So these you install loose so this spins. Once we lock the cams down, we'll put the timing chain on, set the pin, get that all done. Then we will set this wheel for the sensors. So you need the kit really to do the timing on this. You could make your own tool for here. I mean, you can do it without the kit if you absolutely have to, you know, but the kit's $40, you know. That's a call you got to make. So I'm going to set my cams, get my cam caps on. Then I'm going to put some, well, I'm going to set the cams, put some oil over it, and then I'll set my caps, torque them, and I'll torque them with the cam lock in place. So, all right. All right, there's two schools of thought here. You could pull the pin now, but the kit I have for $40 includes a longer pin. So if you remove this plug from the front cover, you can put it on there. That way, you can get your sensors set, everything. Sorry about that, battery died. Anyway, as I was saying, there's no oil pressure in this, so you can hold the spring in with your thumb and a finger here, and you pull the pin out. I call it the grenade pin. You can pull that out, and while you're still holding that in, you can put the pin from the kit. Now I can put the timing cover on. I can set all my overhead, and then pull the pin, and it'll all be tight. Since I have the kit, I'm going with this. The only thing you gotta watch, and it's not a huge deal, it ain't hard to tell, make sure your chains and your guides. This is all set. These are torqued. This is torqued. I can put the front cover on now. I just gotta put my Permatex on the bottom there. Then we'll get our front cover put on. But yeah, that's where we're at. So then all I gotta do, once I set my tensioners for the sensors, because these are loose, I'll set all that, and then I'll go ahead and pull the pin. My cams are all torqued. So we're ready to put the button or the front cover on. So like I said, not a how-to, just covering some high points. All right, I'm calling it a day. Head's on, timing's done. We're gonna get a water pump for it, and then I found out the crank lock plug did not have, and that's why we're leaking oil down there. So I gotta go get a washer for a bronze washer or brass washer for the plug, and that's where we're getting that leak. So I can't put the AC compressor on till I get that done. Then I'll do the exhaust. Manifolds on, injectors are in. We just got some wiring to tidy up, but and then we're gonna go with a new water pump on it, and so that's where we're at. There's the old water pump. I'm going to get the new one, and we're gonna put that on. But like I said, the intake's done. I put all new O-rings on the injectors. Now it's just a matter of getting the exhaust rebuilt and put together, but our parts pile's really dwindled. So like I said, this is the same car. I've showed it before, but this is the same car that's for sale. Just people were, oh, I want it so I can drive it. Well, you can't drive it with a bad head gasket or bad timing chain. You're just gonna, so it's done now. Now the price on the car is gonna go up. So, but we're getting there.